What is up everybody, Afik here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. Proton Malaysia has given the Iriz yet another facelift. So for your information, the Proton Iriz was first launched in Malaysia back in the year 2014. And this is the third facelift of the Proton Iriz and most probably its last one, given how long the model is, before an all-new replacement model due to arrive. This time around, the facelift has shrunk the Iriz trim level to just 3 models, which are the base model, executive, as well as a new top-of-the-range active variant. Without further ado, let's check out the car, and this is ABB Automotive. Now, improvement for the Iriz this time around is a welcome addition overall. The most significant exterior update is of course that new top-of-the-range Iriz Active model. Up front, the Iriz gets another facelift that is now identical to its twin sedan, the Proton Persona. Overall, the new face looks good, with a touch of sporty as well as aggression. The LED daytime running light is now integrated better into the lower bumper. The Iriz Active variant, as the name implies, adds on some lower plastic cladding as well as silver painted skid plate to promote that active lifestyle design. Up top, only the Active variant gets LED headlamp, while the rest of the model make do with just multi-reflector halogen. Finally, the grille is slightly updated and feature the new circular Proton emblem, which makes the Iriz the only vehicle to feature 3 different Proton emblem design on its grille. Moving to the side, things are pretty much unchanged. The Active variant again continues on having that plastic cladding on the lower part of the car, as well as located around the wheel arch. This time around, the Iriz gets a larger 16-inch rim for the Active and meets Executive variant, although the design between the two trim is slightly different. The base Proton Iriz, however, still make do with just 15 inches. Up top, only the Iriz Active gets the black out rooftop as well as roof rails for that active lifestyle look. Finally, moving to the back, this is where things remain unchanged. For the Executive and Premium variants, you get the spoiler up top and the LED tail lamp are standard equipment. You will also get a rear wiper wash as standard equipment as well as parking sensors, which is not available on the previous base model. For the Active variant, it continues on having the plastic cladding at the bottom part of the bumper. So currently I'm inside the new Iriz Active. So at the first glance, I gotta say that the interior of the Iriz Active is slightly improved over the older Iriz. Now looking at the dashboard area over here, you might think that it's a completely new design, but it's actually not. The center fascia over here is actually the same design as the older Iriz. Only the difference here is that they changed the aircon as well as the infotainment system's location. So for the old car, you had the 2 aircon on the side and the infotainment in the center. So for the new Iriz, the Active as well as the mid-spec Executive, you do get this new 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system. So in order to make the size bigger, they had to move the aircon to the bottom part of the fascia and then move the entire touchscreen up. So in the end, you have this sort of like floating style tablet touchscreen. For the lowest standard car, you don't get this 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system. So instead, you do get a standard capacitive touch radio. Going towards lower part of the dashboard, the aircon control is also new. Previously, you have that 3 rotary knob style switch. So the new one is, it may look like an automatic aircon, but it's actually still manual aircon. But over here, it's just that it's digitalized. Personally, I do like how this looks. Really does look modern compared to the old switch. So for me, the biggest highlight for the new Persona as well as the Iriz is this. So now the Persona has a center armrest, which the old car lacks. Personally, for me, I always love a car that has a center armrest. So the center armrest over here, it is also double as a glove compartment. So inside there, you do have some space to put your stuff. Overall, the location of the center armrest is quite nice. So my elbow, my inner elbow and my outer elbow, it has a very symmetrical feeling. Alright, so going on long distance or driving a long journey will be very comfortable in this car. Now the steering wheel itself, it is a nice shape, leather wrap. Unfortunately, for adjustment, you only have tilt. Okay, you don't have telescopic yet. But then it's not an issue because the driving position in this car is actually quite good. Now comparing the top of the range active model with all the other variant from the inside is a true color scheme. So the active has this sort of like orange red highlights around the car, around the center console area, at the dashboard area, as well as near the switch. Whereas the regular car, the executive car, is finished in silver. Okay. Another thing that I like about the active is that it has this sort of like red seat belts. Okay. So the seat belt is red, not only just for the not only the front but also the rear. So both the front and the rear has a rather bright color seat belt. The seats itself, it still retained the old shape. You have this sort of like leather with cotton combination. I do like how the center part of the seat look. This design is quite nice, very modern and very youthful design. At the top, the headliner is black in color, giving that sporty vibe, and I like that all the lights, the map lights in this car is using LED. Okay, so yes, so it again, small touches like this give the Iriz a rather modern touch. Another thing I would like to highlight in the new Iriz is that just below the aircon switch, there is also some small compartment to put your phone, and then underneath that there are three USB port to charge your phone. So that's quite a lot. Okay, and in the center area here, the design is simple and clean, which I like. And then the cup holder, this part over here, so you have this sort of like nice design where you can actually store long item or cup holder or bottle. So it gives like a nice compromise between putting beverages as well as other things. The shifter that you see here previously is only equipped on the highest premium Iriz. So now this shifter, which is adopted from the Proton X70, is now standard throughout the Iriz range. Okay, so it's also worth mentioning that the Iriz has dropped the manual transmission. So the Iriz now only comes in 3 trim level, which is all CVT. So you have the 1.3 standard, the 1.6 executive, as well as this, the 1.6 active. So the active is the top of the range. Now in terms of visibility, sitting in the driver's seat, I would say it's quite good. The A pillar, thanks to that small triangle window, you can see your surrounding quite well. And the other thing that I noticed is that the window sill is quite low, so making for a very big greenhouse. So the window frame is quite large, so it does make the cabin slightly more airy. Now in terms of safety, the Iriz active as well as the executive gets 6 airbags, stability control as well as traction control. Unfortunately, Proton did not include any ADAS system for this car. So here in the back of the Iriz, space is rather decent. Okay, it is not the biggest in class, but overall comfort is quite good. So the things that I like about the Proton Iriz is that you do have two USB charger located behind the center console, and then the rear seat has a headrest. Okay, so yeah, in terms of comfort, I would say it's quite good. The lower seat, the cushion, it gives us really decent thigh support, and I like the angle of the seat back, so it's slightly reclined. So yeah, it's actually quite comfortable. Now in terms of space, headroom, no issue. And then the front seat is adjusted to my driving position. I am 165 cm height. Legroom is also not an issue. Now in terms of storage, you do have a cup holder at the side here, and also dual map pockets. Unfortunately, you don't have any center armrest, quite common for a car of this segment. And even in the middle seat, okay, so my head is not touching the ceiling at all, and also leg room is quite good. There is a little bit of a transmission tunnel, but then it's not that big, and you can still place your foot quite comfortably, right? So overall, for a B segment hatchback, not bad. So with that, we come to the end of this video. If you like that video, do give this video a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, as well as hitting the little small bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post something new on my channel. I would like to say thank you for watching. Stay safe, take care, and have a nice day.